filling your backyard with stuff. Start framing experiences. Think of the landscape like a home with zones. A welcoming entry, an open-air living room, a generous dining terrace, and a quiet lounge. When you design for moments, paths guide movement, layered planting builds suspense, and bold focal points reward every turn. Today on Luxury Home Decor, we're sharing large backyard ideas that turn empty square footage into a destination you'll actually enjoy, season after season. Begin with a simple master plan. Sketch zones for arrival, gathering, cooking, dining, play, quiet reflection, and utility. Use generous proportions. Wide paths, spacious patios, and lawn panels sized for activities. Consider wind, sun angles, drainage, and existing trees before placing anything. Anchor each zone with a purpose. Morning coffee, evening fireside, weekend soccer, so every square meter earns its keep. A plan first saves money later and keeps the build cohesive. Think in sightlines. When standing at the house, what do you want to draw the eye? A sculptural olive tree, a shimmering water rill, or a modern fire bowl? Place one strong focal element far out to extend perceived depth. Then support it with secondary accents that reveal themselves as people walk. This cinematic sequencing makes big backyards feel curated rather than scattered, creating anticipation between destinations and inviting guests to explore slowly. Pathways make or break flow. For large yards, avoid skinny walkways that feel apologetic. Go bold with generous stepping pads, decomposed granite trails, or rectilinear pavers set in lawn. Gentle curves soften modern lines. Straight runs feel formal and fast. Always give paths a purpose, connecting terrace to pergola, garden to studio, gate to pool. Flank them with fragrant herbs or low grasses to brush the ankles, turning simple movement into a sensory experience. Layer planting like an orchestra. Start with structural evergreens for rhythm, add medium shrubs for harmony, and finish with perennials for melody. In big spaces, repeat plant groups in generous drifts rather than peppering singles. Contrast textures. Feathery mully against glossy magnolia, spiky agave beside velvety lamb's ear. Borrow views beyond the fence by echoing nearby colors or silhouettes. This layered approach provides year-round presence and a shifting seasonal show without feeling busy. Seasonal trends reward subtlety. Spring favors blossom tunnels and edible borders. Summer loves shade sails and Mediterranean drought-tolerant palettes. Autumn celebrates coppery grasses and warm lighting. Winter highlights structure, evergreen hedges, boulders, and sculptural branches. Swap accessories, pillows, and container plantings each season while keeping hardscape timeless. This rhythm lets your backyard feel fresh without constant renovation. And it teaches the garden to perform in cycles rather than static moments for years to come. Water features scale beautifully outdoors. A long, narrow rill can lead the eye toward a pavilion. A reflective basin doubles sunset color. A low, sheet-style spillway adds modern drama without splash. Recirculating systems conserve water when paired with smart controls. For wildlife, consider a shallow bird-friendly edge. The trick is sound. Aim for a calm, consistent hush rather than a roar. Water should smooth conversation, mask roads, and cool the microclimate. Shade equals comfort. In large yards, combine architectural shade. The pergola, covered terrace or louvered roof, with living shade from trees. Place canopy trees to block hot afternoon sun and frame dining areas. Train vines along cables. Use shade sails for quick relief. And consider retractable options over kitchens. Balance open sky near lawns to keep spaces bright. A thoughtful shade strategy can extend usable hours dramatically, turning harsh midday into pleasant outdoor time. Furniture needs landscape-scale thinking. Oversized sectionals and deep lounge chairs anchor big patios, while long farmhouse tables invite lingering dinners. Choose weather-resistant frames and quick-dry cushions, then echo materials from the house. Warm wood, powder-coated metal, or poured concrete to tie everything together. Cluster furniture into conversation groups with ample circulation paths around them. Low tables and ottomans encourage lounging. Bar counters near grills support casual chats between cooking and relaxing all day. Budget-friendly doesn't mean basic. Prioritize high-impact, permanent elements, drainage, grading, irrigation sleeves, main patios, then phase decorative features. Start with gravel terraces and stock tank planters to stretch dollars. Use rental tools for weekend projects. Edging, soil amendment, and lighting conduit. Salvage materials, reclaimed brick, railway sleepers, vintage gates, to add character. Finally, plant small and repeat often. Grouped young plants fill fast, and your budget works harder across the entire property, without sacrificing style or quality. Color schemes outside follow the same design rules as interiors. Pick a base palette, cool grays and greens or warm terracotta and olive, and limit accents to 2 lively hues. Cushions, pottery, and annuals supply seasonal pops while perennials and shrubs provide continuity. In large spaces, repeat colors in distant zones to create visual threads that tie the whole property together beautifully. A restrained palette keeps the garden elegant rather than chaotic or cluttered. Lighting transforms scale at night. Layer 3 types. Functional path lights for safety, wall or step lighting for architecture, and focal uplights for trees or sculptures. Use warmer temperatures for hospitality and dimmable zones for mood control. In expansive yards, light only what you want to draw toward, leaving negative space as velvet darkness. Smart timers and motion sensors conserve energy, while low-voltage systems make DIY installation realistic and budget-friendly for homeowners. Outdoor kitchens thrive in big backyards. Start with workflow: prep, cook, plate, serve, clean. Provide counter space on both sides of grills, include a cold drawer or beverage center, and position dining nearby but not downwind. A roof or pergola welcomes year-round use. Wind screens preserve flames. Durable countertops like porcelain or concrete handle weather gracefully. Add herb planters within arm's reach so fresh flavor becomes part of your cooking ritual. Fire features extend seasons and invite gathering. Linear fire tables suit modern terraces. Classic circular pits feel campfire cozy for storytelling nights. Consider gas for convenience, wood for romance, or hybrid setups where codes allow. Surround with heat-resistant surfaces and generous seating. To avoid smoke problems, study typical wind direction and place features accordingly. Pair low flames with soft blankets and ambient lighting, and your large yard becomes a welcoming lounge even in shoulder seasons. Privacy is a luxury worth designing. In big spaces, create layered privacy. Evergreen hedges for year-round screening, deciduous groves for seasonal shade, and architectural panels for targeted views. Use elevation changes, berms or raised planters, to lift green walls without towering fences. For friendly boundaries, stagger trees and shrubs to filter sightlines rather than forming solid walls. The result feels airy and generous while protecting dining and lounging zones from neighboring windows. For families, dedicate flexible play lawns. Rectangular panels double as party spaces or casual sports courts. Install in-ground sleeves for removable soccer goals or volleyball nets. Choose durable turf varieties fit for your climate and pair with soft landings. Mulch rings, rubber pavers around active zones. Keep play near casual seating so supervision is easy, and add storage benches for balls and kites. When not in use, the lawn reads as elegant greenery. Pools belong to the architecture of the yard. Long lap lanes emphasize modern lines. Free-form shapes feel resort-like. Surround with flush decking to blend water and landscape. And reserve a tanning shelf for loungers and toddlers. Integrate an outdoor shower, storage for towels, and shaded seating. Salt systems simplify maintenance. Automatic covers boost safety and efficiency. Even without a pool, a dark reflective pond can deliver similar calm and spatial drama. Terracing manages slopes gracefully. Instead of one giant retaining wall, create a sequence of smaller grade changes with steps and landings. Plant the faces with cascading ground covers and grasses for softness. Use materials consistent with the home: stone, board-formed concrete, corten steel, to feel intentional. Terraces naturally divide functions: upper kitchen garden, mid-level dining terrace, lower fire lounge. Good drainage behind every wall prevents headaches and extends the life of your investment. Edible gardens bring beauty and utility. In large backyards, frame raised beds with formal paths to make maintenance enjoyable. Mix espaliered fruit against fences, bury hedges along borders, and herbs near the kitchen. Use galvanized troughs where soil quality is poor. Incorporate flowers like calendula and nasturtium to attract pollinators and knit vegetables into the ornamental palette. A potting table with storage turns weekly care into a pleasant ritual rather than a chore. Native and climate-adapted plants are the ultimate luxury. Low maintenance, resilient, and habitat-friendly. Group them by water needs and use drip irrigation on a timer. In hot climates, lean into sages, grasses, and succulents. In temperate zones, consider dogwoods, ferns, and hydrangeas. Let the surrounding region influence palette and form so your garden feels rooted. The payoff is a landscape that looks good with less water, fertilizer, and fuss across changing seasons. Soundscape shape mood. Layer gentle water noise, rustling ornamental grasses, and leafy trees that whisper in breezes. If traffic is nearby, add evergreen screens and strategic masonry walls to bounce or absorb noise. Consider small outdoor speakers discreetly placed for gatherings, but preserve quiet areas free of electronics. The right sound balance allows intimate conversation, kid laughter, and bird songs to coexist, giving your backyard the relaxed acoustic signature of a retreat. Sustainability is sophisticated design. Capture roof runoff into cisterns or rain gardens. Choose permeable paving to recharge groundwater, and mulch beds to retain moisture. Reuse soil on site after amending, and specify LED lighting on timers. Composting reduces waste and feeds beds. A small tool shed prevents disposable purchases. When sustainability becomes your default lens, the landscape feels richer, not preachy, because the systems work quietly while you enjoy dinners, naps, and stargazing. Entry moments matter. From the back door or garden gate, choreograph a transition with a threshold material change, a fragrant planter, and a framed view. Provide a place to set trays and kick off shoes. Hide trash and utilities behind attractive screens or hedges so the first impression is calm. In large backyards, consider a secondary entry for vendors or gardeners, keeping maintenance discreet and the main entertaining areas pristine and welcoming. For hosting, design circulation loops rather than dead ends. Guests can wander from the grill to bar to fire lounge and back without bottlenecks. Place cocktail perches, narrow ledges, standing height tables, near conversation hotspots. Keep dining chairs lightweight for easy reconfiguration, and layer seating types. Sofas, benches, poofs, and chairs. When gathering zeb, the yard should reset easily, with storage for cushions and lanterns keeping surfaces clear between events, even at capacity. elevates outdoor rooms. Commission a simple corten sculpture, mount a weatherproof mural panel, or display a collection of oversized ceramic vessels. Position pieces where they greet, surprise, or reward exploration. In expansive spaces, art establishes scale and anchors perspective lines. Uplight gently at night for drama. The goal isn't to clutter, but to punctuate. One perfect piece per zone is often enough to signal intention and give the garden memorable character. Hardscape choices define tone. Smooth concrete reads contemporary. Irregular flagstone feels rustic. Porcelain pavers offer crisp lines with easy maintenance. Mix materials purposefully. Wood-near seating for warmth. Gravel in low-traffic areas for drainage. Stone where you need permanence. In large yards, changes in texture help cue transitions between rooms. Always build a solid base. Slope surfaces for runoff. And plan conduit beneath for future lighting or speakers before finishing surfaces. Container strategy keeps big spaces lively. Large planters near doors create welcoming moments. Clustered pots along patios suggest intimacy. Solitary, oversized containers act like exclamation marks in open lawn. Choose frost-safe materials and stick to simple shapes for timelessness. Repeat plant palettes from beds to maintain continuity. Seasonal container swaps scratch the refresh itch without construction. Winter evergreens, spring bulbs, summer tropicals, autumn grasses, delivering color and texture without redesign. Container strategy keeps big spaces lively. Large planters near doors create welcoming moments. Clustered pots along patios suggest intimacy. Solitary, oversized containers act like exclamation marks in open lawn. Choose frost-safe materials and stick to simple shapes for timelessness. Repeat plant palettes from beds to maintain continuity. Seasonal container swaps scratch the refresh itch without construction. Winter evergreens, spring bulbs, summer tropicals, autumn grasses, delivering color and texture without redesign, season after season. For pets, allocate durable zones. Decomposed granite runs, shade trees, and splash-friendly troughs keep dogs happy without wrecking lawns. Use sturdy, chew-resistant plants along boundaries and avoid toxic species. Provide discreet storage for leashes and toys near exits. A dedicated rinse station simplifies muddy days and stressful returns. The benefit of thoughtful pet planning is shared comfort. People enjoy clean, resilient spaces while pets get freedom to roam without constant backyard negotiations. Outdoor structures add identity. A pavilion becomes the living room. A greenhouse doubles as sculpture in winter. A studio at the back corner creates a destination. Echo roof lines or materials from the house so structures feel like a family. Position them to capture light and block wind. Power for fans, heaters, and outlets turns occasional use shelters into daily favorites. In large backyards, one strategic structure can organize the entire composition. Space optimization is about edges. Curate edges with deep planting beds that hold furniture comfortably inside, avoiding the floating on a patio look. Use built-in benches along retaining walls to conserve floor area. Tuck storage under stairs or behind sliding screens. In lawns, keep rectangles generous and borders clean for easy mowing. When every edge does a job, seating, storage, display, your big yard feels intentional, welcoming, efficient, and surprisingly low maintenance for everyone. Color psychology works outdoors. Cool greens and blues calm pool terraces, while terracotta and mustard create convivial dining energy. Use foliage color, burgundy smokebush, chartreuse hosta, silver olive, to sustain mood even when flowers fade. Repeat one accent color across cushions, umbrellas, and planters for cohesion. A controlled palette reads upscale, especially at the larger scale, and transitions smoothly across seasons as you rotate textiles and annuals without redesigning permanent features. Add a meadow for romance and biodiversity. Replace a hard-to-water corner with native grasses and wildflowers, mown in sculptural paths. Meadows require patience, but once established, they sip water and hum with pollinators. Frame them with neat edges, mown strips, steel edging or clipped hedges, so the looseness looks intentional. A single bench tucked at the meadow's edge becomes a destination, and sunset light through seed heads turns evenings cinematic and calm. Drainage is invisible design. Grade soil to move water away from the house, capture it in swales, and slow it in rain gardens. Use permeable paving where possible and install subsurface drains under lawns prone to saturation. Protect retaining walls with proper backfill and weep holes. Good drainage means patios stay usable after storms, roots stay healthy, and your investment lasts. It's not glamorous, but it's the backbone of a resilient landscape. Why projects stretch budgets and add pride. Weekend builds like gravel terraces, cedar herb planters, and low-voltage lighting are approachable. Paint or stain fences for a fresh backdrop. Craft simple steel edging to sharpen bed lines. If masonry feels daunting, start with modular blocks for small retaining steps. The secret is phasing. Complete one room fully before starting the next, so you enjoy finished spaces while momentum and confidence build. Maintenance can be elegant. Group high-need plants near water sources, mulch deeply to suppress weeds, and schedule seasonal tasks. Spring pruning and composting, summer deadheading and irrigation checks, autumn leaf mold and bulb planting, winter tool care and structural edits. Create a discrete staging area for soil, firewood, and green waste so work never spills into entertaining zones. A simple calendar keeps the garden poised without last-minute scrambles before guests arrive. 4. Bold drama, play with elevation and axis. Align a central walkway on the home's strongest architectural line. Then step the grade subtly to create terraces without obvious walls. Terminate axes with meaningful destinations. A sculpture, a shade tree, or a pavilion. Use long rectangular water or lawn panels to elongate perspective. These moves make expansive spaces feel grand yet ordered, delivering that resort-poised energy people associate with luxury landscapes.